In the middle of the eulogy, this nigga, because I can't even call him pastor or anything, this nigga plugs BMF, the BMF documentary, and the series at my cousin's fucking funeral.
What's going on, good people? Welcome back to another episode of Public Property with me, Monroe Martin. Yo, today we got a great episode. We got Alex English in this bitch. He is one of the writers on SNL. You've seen him on Comedy Central. He's killing it. He's on tour right now. And this episode was probably one of my favorites. We definitely had a lot of good times. We're playing TMNT. What is it? Splinted Fate, some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. We get our ass kicked over and over and over again, but we connect like cousins, all right? But before we get into this episode, please make sure that you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to that goddamn Patreon. If you can't subscribe to the Patreon, which is only $5, it's only $5 a month. But if for some reason you can't afford $5 a month, we got merch. You can support the podcast by buying a t-shirt, a mug, a hoodie. We got some dope shit. Make sure, I think it's going to be somewhere on that screen. I don't know where it is. My producer's pointing, but I don't know where the hell we're going to put it. It's going to be here on this screen right here. It's dope. I don't know what else to say to y'all people. Let's get into it. Yo, Alex, thank you for joining this podcast, man. I really appreciate it. We about to play TMNT. We're about to play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Did you ever grow up playing this game in the arcade or anything?
I vaguely remember having like a Sega Genesis and maybe having like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video game. I remember I had a lot of their toys growing up.
Wait, you didn't grow up playing video games or anything?
I don't know if the Ninja Turtles were games that I like. I was more like Sonic and like Streets of Revenge and Street Fighter and all that stuff. But I feel like I did play.
Wait, nigga, did you just call it Streets of Rage?
Streets of Rage,
yeah. Oh, I'm like, you had a different game. Because Streets of Revenge, I felt like that was custom made. That was just some niggas you had it out for. He's like, I'm going to fuck you up.
The bootleg version.
We're going to figure out how to get the hell out of here. I'm just following this arrow.
I guess. Is the arrow telling us where to go?
Yeah, the arrow's telling us where to go.
Okay, I see.
This is set up like the arcade. So you didn't play this game in the arcade, but I played this game growing up. Well, maybe not this one, but growing up, we would always go to the arcade and play this. And this was the shit that, this and The Simpsons and I think the first X-Men arcade game started a lot of fights. If you weren't good at this game and you weren't trying to give up the sticks to somebody who was, you get slapped in the back of your head.
NBA 2K was like that was the game I know that started a lot of fights with cousins.
Yeah, I stayed away from sports games.
Yeah, poor kids in video game.
Dude, poor kids. We take that shit way too serious, yo.
Extended assault.
Oh yeah, you gotta do it.
That sounds good. Extended assault.
There's a box over here.
Okay. Right now we just doing a lot of.
That actually.
Wait, right now we just doing a lot of.
Yeah, where the hell do we go?
Next room in 8.
It says next room in 8 minutes and 7 minutes. All right, I think we just go in here. Dude, it's an arcade game. Don't overthink it, man. Don't overthink it.
Okay, now there we go.
We are. All right. Did you ever call any of your parents by their first name growing up as a kid? No, that was not allowed?
We wouldn't be talking right now.
Did you ever test it?
The only time I'd say it was allowed was like if me and my mom were like in like a crowded place or like a grocery store somewhere. Mm-hmm. And instead, because everybody's mom to someone in those kind of places. So if I couldn't find her, I'd just say Capri. And
Oh. And what was her response? She'd be like,
no.
What the fuck you just called me?
We
was it one of those?
That was like, okay, that's like an but you would hardly ever, because also, what business do you have not being near me? Oh shit. What business do you have not being? Yeah,
Yo,
you
I
tried to come
tried
behind
to
me
come
thing.
over there.
What business do you have not being
Yeah.
near me when I say be near me in a restaurant or a department store or something? So there was also that element of it where it's like, oh, be near me. Don't be walking off.
How'd your parents discipline you? Was it physically? Was it verbally? Or did they just kind of let you
My
slide?
mama, she was a talker. But she would also, I think she would talk before she would get physical with me. But then even when she did whoop me or like hit me, she would always tell me why she did, or she'll have me explain to her why I did. So it'll always be like,
damn, you had to do a whole report.
yeah, honestly, sometimes we would do so much talking. I'd be like, damn, can you just hit me and like let's move on? Like I would rather get hit than deal with like being lectured and me having to like I know why I got hit. Like I did something wrong. But she wanted me to understand the reasons why, you know. But my dad was in jail, so like I would like have like a problem in school maybe, and then like he'd be like, your mother told me, oh shit, am I dead?
I just died too. Fuck. I just died too. We just died at the same time. So you were saying that your mom.
I would call my dad.
Okay.
Like the thing is, like you know, it was just me and my mom. So then, like, she would try to like do this thing where I don't know why she thought she'd be like, oh, yo, I told your dad about you like having a misbehaving in class or whatever. So then I would talk to him on the phone and he'd be like, so I heard you acting up in school and whatever. And I'm like, yeah, the conversation really wouldn't go anywhere because it's like, nigga, what are you gonna do about it? Like, you don't live with us. You are still on punishment for what you've done. So it's not really you can't really say nothing to me. So what, you gonna whoop me in 10 years, like 10 to 12 years? So yeah, there was that aspect of it. But so she was the disciplinarian. So
how was your family with education? Were they big on it?
I was probably what my mom was because she's a teacher. My mom is a teacher, so she was definitely like. I mean, I didn't act up a lot in school. I had moments, but I definitely like it would have been far too embarrassing for my mother to like be a teacher and then have me having like a behavioral issue. So I was careful not to do that too much. But my mom was she was big, like, yeah, you going to school, you going to college, you're not gonna like wind up like a lot of like family members that I have. And I think I'm probably like, wait, oh, where you at? Oh, there you go. Oh, so this is,
I'm right here.
I get it now. This is the countdown for how long we have until it's time for us to get to that next place. Got it now. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I was like I wasn't the first to graduate from college, but I was like one of the first.
If you were to get jumped right now, who are the 3 family members you calling?
My auntie, and then like maybe a cousin from my daddy's side of the project. My side of the project. See, my dad. So any cousin from my daddy's side of the family who are from the projects is my dad's side. So yeah.
Wait, so your daddy's side is from the project, or your mom's side is the educated side?
Educated, but my mom's side of the family is also hood, but we like kind of like northern Detroit. More east. My dad is more east side. My dad's family. I think I just died again.
Yo, get out of that because you in that smog.
What happened?
So that smog, that smoke, so that green smoke that those rats are running from, they can live in that, but we can't. So you just gotta move when you see the green stuff coming. Okay. You just gotta like get the fuck out of there. You see how I'm moving? I'm shaking and moving.
Yeah, I see now.
Whoa, and then you get out of there.
My dad's side of the family was like from like the projects that Diana Ross and them grew up in. So yeah,
I did not know Diana Ross was from
Detroit.
She's
from the Brewster Projects.
Did you find yourself taking on adult responsibilities? Like, were you like shutting down the house at night, cooking and cleaning?
No, I wasn't doing too much of that. I mean, I had chores, but like I had like regular standard kid chores, teenager chores. Like, but I never really had like my mother was cooking, and I was just like in charge of my room, the bathroom, the trash, all that shit. But I really wasn't. I didn't have any like adult responsibilities necessarily. Okay, there we go. Great. Okay. Here we go. Oh,
how often did your mom or dad fall asleep with a cigarette in their hand?
My mom doesn't smoke, and
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, my grandmother was the smoker. She smoked like a pack. She would chain smoke. So that was the most smoke I grew up around, and like I used to like even like she would send me with a note. I'd be like 8, and she would send me to the store with a note to go get her like a Pepsi and a thing of cigarettes. So I was buying cigarettes when I was like a little kid.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that's probably foster care worthy. I definitely have to do that. If you pick it up,
But
it up with a
everybody,
legal
in the
substance.
neighborhood knew my grandmother though. Like the dudes in the store knew my grandmother. She would have the same cab driver every time. Like she was very like understood. Like and when they saw me coming with the note, they'd be like, "Oh, this is Helen's cigarettes."
Yeah.
So he's not getting ready to go smoke anything. But she did have me drinking.
I know, but
coffee
just because you
little.
got a note.
Well, that's the thing, when you live in a community like that, sort of where like people kind of know. See, we don't have that anymore though. Where like there's like we don't really have like a sense of like let me not be on my soapbox, but like people just don't
Get on your
people don't
soapbox.
take care of each other like that anymore. Where it's like trusted, like these dudes, these like these Chaldean like Indian dudes at the corner store were like we know this old lady. She comes in here with her grandson all the time, so we trust that. She'll get her cigarettes.
Yeah, let's go in here just to see if there's like
I don't see nothing.
Trying to get some more help.
Oh yeah,
nothing. How the fuck you?
Oh well, we got to get to the next room. Where is it?
I feel like that depends on what neighborhood you live in, right?
Yeah.
It's right here. Where's this next room? We just got to stand in front of it.
Yeah.
So we got 9 seconds.
Yeah.
So I feel like around my way, like there's like one store I can probably walk into and be like, shit, I left my wallet at home. And they'll give me probably like an hour to go get it. I think that's enough. I think that's fair enough.
Are we in the right place?
What was the first age that you got your first sip of alcohol, and who was the first person to give it to you?
No one gave it to... Well, no, actually, my uncle. Yeah, my uncle gave me like a sip of beer when I was like sitting on the porch one time. But then there was another time when my mother just had some wine sitting in her bedroom, and I snuck and drank it. Even though she, like, of course, she probably was like, "Don't touch my stuff," but being hard headed, I wasn't listening.
How much did you drink?
Not a lot. I think I just remember sipping some of it and like feeling like it was nasty. Like as a kid, you like, what the fuck is this? Like I didn't think it was that good, but I do remember.
Yeah, no, wine as your first drink is pretty bold.
It looks like
wine
juice.
Is disgusting if you don't know what you're looking for.
So you just don't really think. Yeah. Now, I do remember when I was like, what year? This was like when Hypnotic was popular, or like when it first came out. I remember me and my friend, because at this point I was staying at home alone, because it was like this had to be like middle school. So Hypnotic had like started to pop off, and my mom had a bottle of it in the house, and of course I knew better than to touch my mama's like alcohol. But then I started to have friends come over and shit while she wasn't there. So me and my homeboy would like take a Sprite remix and Hypnotic, and we would drink that. And we wouldn't really be getting drunk. We didn't know how to like make drinks. So we wasn't pouring in a whole.
Yo, but that sounded like it went in.
Bad.
The Sprite remix.
I don't remember. You remember Sprite remix?
It wasn't bad.
I don't remember.
I remember Sprite remix.
So we would just like pour, because we also didn't want to get in trouble and have a noticeable amount missing. So we wasn't really using it a whole lot. So it was just like a little cocktail, a little 8th grade cocktail.
So 8th grade, what age is that? I don't really know how to do
12,
math. Your mom would have definitely made me sit at that table.
12 or 13.
Okay.
I know for me, I was like
13.
14.
So
because I was always older.
So 12 to 14, you had your first.
Oh shit.
But so you had your first sip of alcohol around that time. And how long was it before your family found out? And what was
nobody really.
What was like their reaction to it?
I remember my mama noticing maybe that some of her stuff was missing, and she'd be like, "Stop!" I think she would just hide it. Like her reaction to it really wasn't to like chastise me about it. She was just like, she would hide it from me, or lock it up. But I think people didn't know I started drinking until like I got to college and came home drunk one time, and she was like, "Oh, this is what you do now."
Ah, damn! You about to die? What the fuck was that? What was that?
I don't know. I just
fuck. Okay, it's like a sonic boom or something.
I just be fighting, and then like shit'll just pop off, and I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck I don't know where I am. Okay, back. But then when I come back,
All right, you bet. How'd you
I
get
don't
back?
know. You asking me questions. I wish I had
Oh,
the
fuck
answer
it.
to. Turtle powers.
Dude, I don't know either. Let's see. Scraps. What's the scraps gonna do? Nothing. What the fuck is the
Turtle
scraps
power.
gonna do? Were there any times where your family left you in like a car by yourself, either when you were asleep or you was just up and it was like, we'll be back, and like 20 minutes
Yeah, I
passed?
was left in the car for a few things, like my mom like running errands and stuff like that. But honestly, like I never really felt like I was in any danger. I mean, it wasn't like she would like leave me in a hot car. It would just be like, oh, she got to go to the DMV or she got to do this thing, and like I was, I was a video game kid, so I just would.
The DMV, that's a long
But I
ass
never really thought
time.
about it because I'm like playing video games and shit. So like, I was preoccupied, or I was reading a book or something. Like, she I was always finding ways to preoccupy myself so that I wasn't so bored. But I think my mother also knew that if something was gonna take a long time, then she would just take me in there with her. It was never like, I'm intentionally leaving my child in the car for a long ass time. Oh shit, this motherfucker about to kill me. Yeah.
I got it.
Okay,
I got you.
way.
Is there a way that I can? No, I can't even.
Why they not offering me any health shit in these little cutaways?
You're not breaking these boxes though.
Oh yeah.
You got to run around and run into these boxes.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, hold on. Where? Ain't no boxes over here.
Ain't no more now.
I'm about to die as soon as we get into this next thing. Watch. As soon as.
Hopefully they give you a little bit of room. I mean, a little bit of health. Nope, nothing. All right, break these boxes where I'm standing. You just got to run into them. Yeah, I'll fight them off. Oh, shit.
Bitch. Oh, I see the green stuff. Is that the green stuff coming? I mean, I'm probably going to die in a second. But
what? So when you see the circle, where it's like two circles, that's an indicator letting you know that that's where the attack is about to be. So you got to get out of that.
Okay, yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, you see it? But I'm about to die because these niggas ganging up on me.
Yeah, because you all alone.
Yeah, I'm all alone.
What is this shit when it gets black and white? Like
on my own. Okay. Oh, that's when you die. Yes. When it turns black and white, that's like death.
I don't know what I'm choosing. All right. No boxes over here.
So, did your family eat at the table? Or was it like every man for themselves?
Well, considering it was just me and my mother, we weren't necessarily like eating. I would eat at the table, and maybe she was eating at like on the couch watching TV or something. Like it wasn't like, I mean, sometimes we would eat together, but like it wasn't like a, it was pretty independent of, because it was just us two. Now, when it came to like holidays and stuff, of course, everybody was eating at the table. When my stepdad came along, I guess like. Nah, even then, like, yeah, we would eat together, but like not at the table. I feel like sometimes we would only use the table here and there to eat together, but most times it'd be like
to show off.
Maybe. I think like
you just use it. Yeah, you just use it.
We weren't like having dinner conversations, but we would talk to each other while we were fixing our plates, and then like. Then like we would all like get in the living room and watch TV and eat. Maybe like I'd eat at the table and eat, and my stepdad and my mom would sit at the couch and put their food on the table across from the couch.
What was family vacations like?
Didn't take a lot of those. I know I can remember like me and my mom went to she took me to Disney World once. Then I remember we went to. I forget what year it was, but we went to.
Wait, you went to Disney World? You definitely are not public property. You definitely, if your family can afford Disney World as a kid in the fucking 90s,
it was just me and my mom, so it wasn't like she had to spend a ton of money. I think it gets more expensive the more kids you have. So it was just me and her. So all she really had to pay for was my ticket.
Yeah, I feel like you creating excuses for other moms out here. That ain't no excuse. You creating other excuses. You got to take care of the kids you had. Your mom was smart enough to have one.
Well,
but even some people who have one don't even know how to give them the world.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
that's good. How long were you in Disney World?
Like a weekend. It was like a spring break.
3 days?
How long?
That's a lot of money. 3 days at Disney, nigga.
I don't know. I don't know if you're
That's a
thinking. I don't know. I think it's only gotten more expensive now. Back then, I don't think it was super. Everybody was going to Disney World back then, even if they had like tons of kids.
Don't say everybody.
I think so. I mean,
what was your bedtime routine as a kid?
Oh yeah, I had to be in bed. I remember. I think sometimes I really would be in bed like when the sun was still up, like at 7.
That was the worst. You can hear all your friends outside playing.
Yeah, my mother didn't play that. Like she was definitely like on the weekends I could get away with it a little bit. I would like fall asleep on the couch and then she would like wake me up in the middle of the night, like go to bed. But like, yeah, I had like a strict like, oh, you got to be in bed at a certain time, which is crazy because now I like have borderline insomnia.
When you got your first job, did your parents start making you pay bills immediately?
No, it was just a matter of like get a job because you asking us for stuff that you should be able to pay for. So it was just like, oh, I think, yeah, I wasn't really paying any bills yet. I was just like, they were like just trying to impress upon me, get a job so that, you know, because you're starting to ask for shoes and you're starting to do all this and it's, if you want that, you need to be a young man and go get it.
Yeah, they started looking at the size of your feet.
There we go.
They started looking at the size of your feet. They're like, can I get some Nikes? And they look down like, what size you wear? What is that, a 7? That's a man size. Nah.
Listen, so they were.
Once you transition into men's size, that's when you got to get a job, right?
Yeah. Or just like starting to ask for shit in general.
Where's your first job?
I was a bag boy at Kroger grocery store. That was my first job. Bagging groceries for Anita Baker.
You met Anita Baker?
Numerous times, yeah. She lived in Detroit. She still lives in the city. So like the grocery store that I worked in was in the suburbs. So I would have to take the bus or when I had a car, I would drive out there and go to work. And she lived not too far from the grocery store that I worked at. So she would like, you know, I would be bagging her shit for her. Aretha Franklin came one time too.
Was she nice to you?
She was cool.
Were they nice to you? Did they speak to you?
Anita Baker was weird though, because she would buy like chicken. She would buy like raw chicken and maybe like shampoo. And when she would like want all her shit in the same bag, which was like odd.
What's wrong with that?
You put in like
with shampoo and clothes shampoo and clothes chicken can't go in the same bag. Come on, Alex. How's that
that's
weird?
Gross. I didn't want. Well,
How?
It was also against the rules for us until she was just adamant about it, so we couldn't challenge her on it. But they would be like, "No, don't put cleaning products with food. That's bad."
Yo, I still do that.
But no, she
wanted
to use as many bags as few bags as possible. So she was like of the mind, put all my shit in as many, and I'm like, all right, if you want Ajax on your fucking sausage, who am I? Miss Baker.
Oh, you don't know the type of seasoning they may add.
I ain't going to eat at her house.
Yo, Miss Baker. Yeah, you ain't gonna get none of that fucking Ajax chicken.
I want to live.
Besides you, who's the funniest person in your family?
Who is the funniest person in my family? Trying to think. My grandfather was really unintentionally funny. My mother's father was like, he had a story for everything. Oh wait, I'm coming. Okay. Yeah, my grandfather just had a story for everything, and like my grandfather was weird too, because like I don't think that man, I don't know what he did to make money. He would always travel around the world, be in Tijuana randomly for some years on end.
Oh, he sold drugs.
I'm sure he did, but he never really but he would come and stay with us, me and my mother, every now and again, like for 2 weeks on end, and then leave and just dip out. So my grandfather was kind of like a real cartoon character, a real life cartoon character for me, because he would come back randomly to stay with us with stories from his travels, because he spent most of his time in San Diego. So then like he would also like cross the border with some dude and like be in a truck randomly and having all types of stories about his travels. And it's just like my grandfather was just like a wild boy, but I always like knew I would have fun when I saw him.
That's kind of cool. What was the most embarrassing thing your family has ever done in public?
The most embarrassing thing my family's well, this is actually recent from my dad's side of the family. So on my dad's side of the family, I had a cousin that passed away from cancer. So I went home. This was back in December. So I went home, middle of a snowstorm. Went home for the funeral, and my dad was there. So now, fun fact about my father is that he used to run. The reason why he was in jail in prison in the first place was because he used to run and sell drugs around with Big Meech and the BMF, the whole BMF thing that's happening right now. So my dad was a part of that circle of people. He was even featured in the documentary that they played before BMF, the Power BMF came out on Star. So like he's being recognized for that in a way that I'm like, sure, dude, like you're being praised for the thing that
a win is a win though. A win is a win. He got a TV credit, Alex. He's hating on the TV credit.
But it's off the thing that basically like fucked my life up. You know, like I'm not about to celebrate this shit with you, nigga. Like oh, and he's in the documentary talking like, oh, you know, them was the days, nigga. You literally were doing illegal shit, and like the law took you from me, which was good actually, but like still, you know, glorifying that bullshit. So anyway. So, needless to say, you know, my dad is like being like, you know, seen by people and all that shit. And he's writing a book now. He's taking full advantage of his story. Fine, everybody has the right to do that. Yeah. So we get I get to the funeral, and so this is of course this is a hood funeral. This is a project funeral. That was actually what was said out the mouth of the person who was presiding over the funeral. I don't know where they got this pastor, quote unquote, from. I don't know where they got him from, but apparently he is also from the projects. He's like, he knows my family and knows everybody. So he's the motherfucker speaking at the funeral. So this is actually not something this is something embarrassing that was brought upon my family. Not necessarily something, but this is just the one that came to mind. So in the middle of the eulogy, this nigga, because I can't even call him pastor or anything, this nigga gets up in front of everybody.
Yo, you got to get out of that green stuff, man. All right.
This nigga gets up in front of everybody in the church and starts eulogizing my cousin for like 2 minutes, and then says, "Oh, we got to." I just want to start. I just want to say for 1 second that we got a Brewster Project legend in the house tonight. And goes on to introduce and say to my father twice to stand up and receive a round of applause for being just for being there. And then plugs BMF, the BMF documentary and the series at my cousin's fucking funeral. But when I tell you, me and my dad are still working like on getting closer in our relationship, but that moment really kind of brought us together because we were both looking at each other like, is this nigga for real? That shit was crazy. So like embarrassing in that way where it was just like, what are we doing here?
That shit is funny.
Fuck.
It's like, wait. I know we here to celebrate the passing or celebrate the life.
And his eulogy was crazy too because like he was trying to like make remarks. He was trying to use my cousin's death as like, oh yeah, and Patricia knew how to. You women could take note from Patricia because Patricia, she knew how to be masculine, but she also knew how to be feminine for her man. And it's like, what?
Oh shit!
Where did this nigga?
Yo, I wish I was at this funeral. This funeral,
dog. I was
dope.
like, where did this nigga come from? And then also at the repast, my second cousin, her mother, she had just lost her mother, gets into a full-blown fight. I'm talking like wig snatched some girl's wig during the repast of the funeral. I mean, true project. I was looking around that motherfucker like, oh yeah, I'm back in the Jets with these niggas, like for real.
Damn.
Got into a whole fight. Like, no,
you got into a whole fight.
My cousin, whose mother, because it was her mother who passed. She was my second cousin. So like, just got into a whole fight with this girl.
Who won?
My cousin did. No, my cousin did. I mean, the
okay,
person
cool.
whose wig gets snatched off completely and has to be taken out, I think that's the person who got their hands put on them. But they got broken up pretty quickly too, also. So, but also it's a fucking funeral.
Yeah, because you can't be at a family.
It's a fucking funeral. What are we doing here? I was embarrassed just in general, just because. Come on, y'all. We can't hold off on this type of wild shit for a second. But this is me also coming home.
But you can't be taking an L at your family's funeral, though. So
the behavior of everyone at that was just, I was just like, yeah, this is why I don't come home that often.
Yo, you ever? Nah, I'm the same way. Philly seems just
there's
like
a lot
Detroit.
I mean, whenever I go to Philly, I get a very, very, very visceral reaction. It's too familiar in some ways.
Yo, you know PBS photographer, right? Matt Wilson. Yeah, I brought him to Philly because we had to do a promo shoot for something, and we did it in Philly. And he likes hot dogs. He's on like a glizzy tour, so whatever city he goes into, he finds like whatever spot sells hot dogs, and he'll just buy one, take a picture of it, eat it. And I was like, yo. Then let's go to Wawa, because Wawa's I think we gotta wait for one more person to be.
Oh yeah, we had to go there.
No, we gotta go there.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, let's go to Wawa. Wawa got this bacon wrap hot dog. That's the shit. And I bring them there. I forgot how homophobic Philly was. We walked in that joint. We were like, yo, can we get 2 hot dogs? It was 2 dudes. They stopped what they were doing, and they went, wait, what? What you just ordered? And he was like, oh, can I get 2 hot dogs? Bacon wrap hot dogs. And then he called another employee. He was like, yo, you hear this nigga? This motherfucker ordering glizzies. They were, yo, he ordering glizzies, yo. I was like, no disrespect, but I don't think I can serve that to you, yo. I don't think I can serve y'all some glizzies. And then it was 3 of us. It was my boy Daryl. And my boy Daryl, he still live in Philly. He still got the Philly attitude and everything. So he was like, he's trying to be somewhat nice, but he like, yo, come on, man. It don't fucking matter. Just give us the fucking hot dog. And it was a 5-minute back and forth on this dude putting aside his homophobia and boiling
now
some
I wonder
fucking
how
hot
much money
dogs.
Wawa has lost from Philly for homophobic avoidance. you got to factor that in.
Because these niggas don't want to make glizzies. If your family was a sitcom, what network would they be on? You want me to go first? My shit going straight to HBO, nigga.
UPN.
UPN, the Black Network?
CW. Yeah, UPN.
Back when they had the game and all that shit. Back when they had
Moesha. It would be right after Moesha.
Okay, all right. Do you think if your family had a theme song or a motto, what would it be?
If my family had a theme song or a motto, what would it be? Stay out of grown folks' business. Because I heard that constantly. I was a kid that heard that constantly because I was definitely always trying to sit with the adults and like talk with the adults. I've always been an adult in my mind.
Yeah.
That's what
that makes sense.
That's what I got told a lot was that I thought I was grown. That like, you think you grown and you're not. Yeah. And I was like, well, okay, that's what you think. In your opinion, that's your opinion. But I am grown.
That's a grown-ass response right there, though. Most of the time, you just sit down and be like, okay, but you like, that's what you think, but I know what the fuck I'm
I just always wanted to be in the mix.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, so it's the end of the podcast. Obviously, you're not public property. I would love to live with your goddamn family. Your mom did her best for you to be project adjacent and still not ever get sucked into that lifestyle.
That was her making sure.
It shows how strong. Yeah, that shows how strong your mom was.
She saw a couple scars on my arm and was like, "Oh no, you fighting over there? You can't. You got to take a break from the projects."
Yeah, but that's all the projects was for. You would go over there. Projects was like It was like a boxing gym for kids, right? You just go over there and then somebody pick on you,
But
and
my
then you got to
mama was,
fight.
but
And
then
then
I
you
would come
lose
home with
if you.
scars and stuff, and she'd be like, "Oh hell no!" Like no, I would be coming back in different condition than she left me.
Not
Yeah,
my mom. She see me with a scar. She be like, "You won." If I say no, I gotta go back and
yeah.
fight.
She wanted me to have that balance though, like she just wanted me to like, oh, you got to
Yeah.
spend time with them, like because I had family members there that like she liked, so she was like, okay, well, just please don't get into no problems when you're out there.
Yeah.
Just constantly praying. But yeah,
Okay.
my mother was great.
Yeah, you
Great
had a great
mom.
mom, man. So I'm sorry
I'm not
you are not
public.
public property. You're not public property, man. You get to stay with your wholesome ass family.
I don't know about wholesome,
Y'all
but
probably
I'll give
got
it to
pictures.
you.
Y'all
Enough.
wholesome enough. You wholesome enough. Do y'all got pictures wearing
Hell
sweaters
no.
and shit? Cause that's wholesome. If y'all got,
We don't even have a family reunion T-shirt, much less a sweater.
I mean, the family reunion T-shirt would definitely be the Englishes. Stay out of
But
grown folks'
yeah,
business.
there you go.
Yeah. But all right, tell these people where they can find you.
Alex English on Instagram and every social media as I die again. Alex, yeah, if you look up Alex English on Instagram, I'm there. The E that spells English is the number 3, and that's where I post all of my dates and stuff.